Many people who have the dream or the idea of starting their own business, their own excavating company, might talk themselves out of it, or they might postpone it, put it off. They might tell themselves things like, there's no way I can do this. It's a saturated market. Everybody in my town is doing this. Or they might look around and see a bigger company in the area and think, I can never compete with them. How's that even a smart idea? You might just think you don't have the resources or the knowledge. There are many things that hold people back. But today I want to take some time, give you a couple points to consider that might just blow your mind, get this stigma out of your head, and give you the motivation you need to actually make this happen. Hey, I'm Chad. This is Excavation Revelation, the place where excavating knowledge is shared and strategies are given to help you succeed with your goal in the excavation world. The first thing you need to consider if you're starting an excavating company is think about things that you are good at. It's a pretty simple step. Something that you are good at. Most people who start an excavating company, you think, start with a mini excavator, a skid steer, and a dump truck. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. Those are great places to start. You've got many possibilities starting with those three items. But you might also tell yourself or think about it and realize that that's pretty expensive to start that way. You definitely want to start small. But start out by thinking of things that you are good at. What have you run before? What have you done? What are you confident doing? Are you really good at planting grass, for example? Maybe you've worked at a landscaping company for a summer or two. You've really gained knowledge of just what it takes to have a nice seed bed, what it takes to make grass grow, raking. That might be one of your strengths. Maybe you've been somewhere that you've got a little experience with a dump truck, that you understand the rules on the road, the laws. You know what it takes to haul some heavier load, some stone. You can get material from one place to another. Start by simply thinking of things that you are good at. And while you're thinking of those things, try to get at least 3 or 4. Write them down. Take time. Write them down. Your next step is to think of things that people say you are good at. What have you done in the past? What have you helped people with? What do they say that you're good at in the excavating business, in the excavating field, along those lines? Some of the things, if you really stop and think about it, some of the comments you've heard in the past might really open up some doors. They might get some wheels turning. They might realize that you're good at more things than you probably think you are. That is your first step. Find out what you are good at. Figure it out. Write it down. Take some time. It's a simple process, but just take your time and write it down. Things you're good at. The next step you want to take, once you have some ideas going, you want to look around and see if there's a need for these ideas. Say you're good at running an excavator. Is there a need in your town for running an excavator? 95% of the time, that answer is yes, that it's a skill that it's very valuable. You can do many different jobs with. Chances are there are a need for excavators. You want to just take your time and do some polling. Think of some things that you could do simply to start. Are you good at grading driveways? I mentioned before, are you good at landscaping, planting grass? A very good piece of tool or information to find this out is Facebook. There's probably a group in your area, in your town, just a group that's where people go and it's a chat room basically. People go and post things, services they're searching for, services that they have. Get on Facebook and see what people are searching for in your area. It might open your eyes a little bit. People might be looking for a brush hogging service, something that you've done in the past but you've kind of overlooked. People might be looking for a driveway grading service. They might be looking for somebody just to come and spread topsoil. Many different things. You got to just keep your eyes and ears open. Even when you're out and about with doing family events or a party, always be listening to what people are looking for. There's always going to be a need out there. And along those lines, a good idea, especially if you're good at grading or working with stone, go to a stone quarry. Go to a local smaller gravel supplier. Talk to them a little bit. See if they've got people coming in and looking for a company to come out and regrade a driveway or haul them stone, something along those lines. Ask around and you'd be surprised what you hear that people are saying that there's a need for. It's one thing to find out what you're good at and what you can do, and you might be just encouraged to do, or you might want to just go out, tempted to go out and just start doing that. But the biggest step is finding your need. You need to figure out what people are actually needing. You might have the best service in the world, but if there's 100 other people out there doing the same thing, then it just makes it that much harder. You have to be just a little bit better than them to go out and do that, which is, it's very possible. But the easier part is to go ahead and see if there's an actual need for that service. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is meeting people's needs. And if you create something that meets their needs, you're just going to excel so much faster. Your business is going to start out so much faster. You're going to have constant work all the time by meeting people's needs. Another idea is just to go stop by places, somewhere where there's usually excavating going on, or a homeowner that always seems to have a project going on. Just talk to them, like see what their needs are, like see what projects they've done in the past and see if they're happy with the contractors. That's another thing about Facebook is people will be honest out there. They'll just say they're not happy with this company, and they'll go into a detail why. Say maybe it's just they're not getting calls back when they're looking for answers, that they're not getting the job done completely, that they're satisfaction. Look what people are, look and listen to what people are saying. They'll open up a lot of doors for you just by being out there and stopping by places, seeing what's going on in the real world, seeing what people are happy with and what they're not happy with. The next step you want to take in this process, once you have some ideas nailed down, once you wrote down some things you're confident doing, and once you go out there and look and see what you think there's a need for, once all those wheels are turning, that is the time that you want to stop, take a deep breath, and start thinking, is this something I can actually do? What's it going to take to make this happen? What am I going to need? Am I going to need an excavator and a skid loader and a dump truck? Or can I get by with just, say, a skid loader to start? I just need maybe a pickup truck to haul it around, and I could start going out and, say, brush hogging fields. Maybe that's something in your area that people are really looking for. They can't find a solid person out there to come just simply mow fields. You can get a used skid loader, you can get a little brush hog for it, then you can start banging out some jobs. Start to consider also what it's going to take. Are you organized to run a business, to manage money? Are you disciplined enough? There's a lot to it, but if you do it in simple, short steps, it can make it a lot more feasible and a lot more applicable. You also need to consider, if you're looking to get some equipment, a place to store it all. Do you have a spot at your house where you can store? Is there a local spot down the road where you can keep equipment and you can work on it from time to time? If all this seems like way too much to even get started, just think of it even simpler. Say you need a skid loader to get from one driveway to another, and that's all you can afford right now is a skid loader. Is there somebody around that you know that's willing to, you just pay them a little bit and they'll move your machine for you? You don't have to worry about the trailer expense, the truck expense. They could even bring you gravel. You just need to work to break it down into little steps to figure out how you get your machine from point A to point B and start from there. Then at that point, you can start learning what it takes to get into this. So I hope that helps. I hope that in a nutshell, that is a path that will at least maybe clear some of the fog. It will get you thinking of some things and you don't keep talking yourself out of starting this business, because you can definitely do it. It's definitely possible. Think of things you're good at. Definitely figure out if there's a need for that service, and then start breaking down, making steps, planning out what it's going to take to make that happen. Start small. That's the biggest thing. People always want to just jump in. They need this, they need that. Just start small, start simple. You'll get there in time. You start making money on some jobs, you'll be able to start buying more and more. You won't get overwhelmed then. You just start out slow and simple, and you'll get to the next step. So if you would be so kind, if you want to like this video, I'd appreciate it. Also, take time to leave me a comment. What do people think you're good at? Write down some ideas, like share them with me. Share them on here. People might get an idea from what you're good at or what you're thinking about. It's going to be helpful if you leave a comment and just start engaging. People might be in the same boat you are, and your comment, they could be a couple states away. Your comment could change their perspective, give them an idea, and vice versa. So just leave a comment. What's something that you haven't considered? What's something that you think you're good at? And a good way to start your own excavating business. I hope this all helps. I'm Chad. We'll see you next time.